When Emma stole my fiancé 2 weeks before my wedding, I could have cried. I could have fought. Instead, I smiled, sent them my blessing, and started dating her dying father. My name is Claire Mitchell. I'm 29, a marketing consultant in Portland, Oregon. For 3 years, I thought Daniel Carter was the one. We had the venue booked, invitations sent, my dress hanging in the closet. Then his childhood friend Emma came back to town. It started with coffee, then late-night texts he'd hide, then weekend trips for work. I'm not stupid. I saw the signs. But when I confronted him, he didn't even have the decency to lie. Emma and I have history, Claire. I'm sorry. I can't marry you. 2 weeks before the wedding. 2 weeks. Emma called me the next day, not to apologize, to gloat. He was always mine, Claire. You were just keeping him warm. Her voice dripped with satisfaction. She wanted me broken. She wanted me to beg. Instead, I said, I'm happy for you both. And I meant it, because right then I remembered something Emma mentioned once. Her father, Richard, widowed 5 years ago. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer, 6 months to live, and incredibly, impossibly lonely. I met Richard at a coffee shop 3 days later, not by accident. I knew his routine. Emma had complained about it enough. Dad goes to that same boring cafe every morning. It's pathetic. He was 58, silver hair, kind eyes that carried the weight of his diagnosis. We talked about books, about the rain that never seemed to stop in Portland, about loss. He didn't mention his daughter, I didn't mention my ex. For 1 hour, we were just two people sharing coffee and conversation. The next morning, I was there again. So was he. You're becoming predictable, he joked. So are you, I replied. He smiled, a real smile, the kind that reaches your eyes. By the end of the week, our coffee meetings became dinners. Richard was brilliant, a retired architect who designed half the buildings downtown. He spoke about his late wife with such tenderness, about his regrets, about the time he had left. Emma won't even visit, he admitted one night. She's too busy with her new life, her new boyfriend. Daniel, I said quietly. Richard's head snapped up. You know him? I nodded. He was my fiancé until 2 weeks ago. The silence stretched between us. Then Richard laughed. Not a bitter laugh, a genuine, surprised laugh. So we're both casualties of their love story, he said. Seems that way, I agreed. That night changed everything. We stopped pretending our meetings were coincidental. Richard took me to art galleries. I took him to terrible action movies he secretly loved. We talked about everything except the two people who'd brought us together. 3 weeks in, Richard kissed me. It was raining, of course. We were standing under the awning of a closed bookstore. This is crazy, he whispered. Completely, I agreed. I'm dying, Claire. I know. And you're 30 years younger than me. 29 years, I corrected. He kissed me anyway. Emma found out from a mutual friend. She showed up in my apartment at 11 at night, Daniel trailing behind her. Are you insane? She screamed. Dating my father? My dying father? Your father who you haven't visited in 6 weeks, I said calmly. Your father who eats dinner alone every night while you post couple photos with my ex-fiancé. Emma's face went red. This is revenge. You're using him to get back at me. I looked her straight in the eye. Your father is the kindest, most intelligent man I've ever met. He makes me laugh. He listens when I talk. He doesn't text other women behind my back. I glanced at Daniel, unlike some people. Daniel had the decency to look uncomfortable. Emma didn't. He has 6 months to live, Claire. What kind of future is that? A honest one, I said, which is more than I had with Daniel. They left, but the damage was done. Emma started visiting Richard weekly. Suddenly, she cared about his doctor appointments, his medication schedule, his will. She thinks you're after my money, Richard said one evening. We were in his garden, the last roses of fall blooming around us. "Are you?" he asked gently. "No," I said, and I meant it. Somewhere between coffee shop conversations and rainy night kisses, this had stopped being about revenge. This had become real. "Good," Richard said, "because I'm leaving everything to the children's hospital anyway. Emma will get the house, and my collection of terrible jazz records." He smiled. "I told her yesterday." 2 weeks later, Richard asked me to marry him. Not with a ring, with a simple question over breakfast. "I have maybe 4 months left, probably less, but I'd like to spend them as your husband, if you'll have me." I said yes, not because of Emma, not because of Daniel, but because Richard made me believe in love again. The real kind. The kind that doesn't hide, doesn't lie, doesn't waste time. We got married at City Hall on a Tuesday morning. 2 witnesses, no white dress, no reception. Just vows and tears and the promise of whatever time we had left. Emma found out from the marriage certificate. Public record. She called me every name in the book. Said I'd stolen her father, destroyed her family, manipulated a sick man. Richard took the phone from me. "Emma," he said quietly, "I love you. I always will. But Claire didn't steal me. She saved me. From dying alone. From believing no one cared. She gave me 4 months of happiness. That's more than I had with your mother before she got sick. I hope one day you'll understand." He hung up. We never heard from her again. Daniel sent a text 3 weeks later. "Emma won't stop crying about her dad. This is your fault." I blocked his number. Some people never learn. Richard died on a Thursday, peacefully in our bedroom, with me holding his hand. His last words were, "Thank you for the coffee shop." At the funeral, Emma wouldn't look at me. Daniel stood beside her, uncomfortable in a borrowed suit. They left before the service ended. I stayed. I stood by his grave until the sun set, and I realized something. What started as revenge had become the greatest love of my life. Richard taught me that time doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. What matters is showing up, being honest, loving completely while you still can. 6 months later, I received a letter from Emma. No return address. Inside, just 4 words. "He loved you. Thank you." I never responded. Some endings don't need closure. They just need to be. And me? I still go to that coffee shop every morning. Same table, same order. Remembering the man who taught me that revenge and love aren't always opposites. Sometimes they're exactly the same thing.